and that's what they call me. I promise that you.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope all is well in the world. All right, as most of you know, I am a military wife. I have lived abroad. I just wanted to kind of make a video and talk about that. I've been meaning to do these videos. These will probably end up being series. I get so many questions in my Instagram, and I don't want you guys to think that I'm not listening or that I don't care. And I always try to put them in a video form because it's just a lot easier than me typing all that. And honestly, guys, I wish somebody like me had told me all these things about living abroad. Actually, I don't. I really don't. If we're being honest, you guys, you can watch some of my stories before about us moving to the UK. We were just thrown into it. And even if you're another military family and you're like, oh, Michelle, we get 6 months in advance, or we get this X amount of days in advance, and how did you not know? That's not our story, guys. Our story is that we were just kind of notified. We were floored by it. And our whole story was, you know, I can remember back to my husband going, when he comes home with the orders, he had gone on the weekend. It was a Saturday. We were celebrating the girl's birthday. I had this huge, massive crowd down at the pool for us to celebrate a party. And he comes rolling in, and I'm like, oh my God, you're late. And where have you been? And everybody's at the pool. And there's like this blank stare on his face. And I'm like, are you okay? Like, it's Saturday. You just went to check your emails. Are you okay? He's like, our orders dropped? And I'm like, our orders dropped? We're moving? He's like, yeah, you want to come inside? And I was like, no, I want you to tell me now because something's wrong, you know? And he's, yeah, we're moving to England. And I remember that's probably the look I gave him, like, England? And so me and him, it's so comical. Me and him are very well-educated people, for what I would like to say, especially on a common sense level. I've never been the one that really watches all these things about England. I know there is a prince and a king, and I knew that there was a queen and certain little things like that, but I've never watched like Downton Abbey to know like the whole setup of England. So out of panic, two well-rounded people look at each other and went, England? Is that the UK? Is the UK England? Is that like London? Is London all of England? Do they speak English? Like, how do we get there? I mean, like, these weirdest questions, we start popping off to each other back and forth. And at the end, we're laughing and we're like, all right, let's just take a breath. None of that just made sense. And let's restart this conversation. But it honestly was. It was a panic for us, guys. And you can watch back to some of my stories about how I had to tell my girls and all those fun adventures. But I don't want to make this video about that. I kind of want to help you guys out because, like I said, we were honestly thrown into it. We had so many things to accomplish before we could actually move to the UK. And if you're military out there, you know that you have your checklist. And even if you put it on your dream sheet, which supposedly the story is I had told my husband to put England on the dream sheet. I do briefly remember I had just had Christian. Probably in one of those moments when I hadn't slept in 24 hours, he was like, hey, you know, our PCS is coming up soon. Wouldn't England be cool? And I probably just agreed. Sure, I've always wanted to travel the world. That's honestly probably how it went, and my husband goes and puts it on our dream sheet. Well, if you put overseas on your dream sheet, you were getting it, because not most American families are putting overseas on their dream sheet. They're trying to stay close to family, close to friends, close to what they know. So if you put that on your dream sheet, guys, you going, or Germany or wherever. So be careful when you're making those dream sheets. But honestly, it was just an awesome blessing. If you follow me on YouTube and you followed my journey, I wish I would have started YouTube when we first found out we got orders, and I wish I would have shared the whole experience with you guys. But honestly, at the time, I just had a baby. I didn't really realize this whole YouTube thing, but it was a great experience. But today's video, after we're 4 minutes in, let's try to go through things that I've kind of been asked, like the 10, I don't know that we're gonna make it through 10, maybe 3 or 5, you know, hardest things that I've been asked. So the number one question, is living abroad hard? I get asked that question so much, and I know it's just so other people can take security in knowing that the decision that they did not just make and the military has made for them, that it's going to work out okay. And guys, a lot of us, especially if you follow me on YouTube, you follow me on Instagram, you know, a lot of people just think it's just a walk in the park and we make it look so easy to move abroad and oh, la-di-da. And guys, and a lot of people think, oh, it's like an extended holiday and people are always, Michelle, I love your travels and I love to see what your family's doing. But guys, as everyone knows, those holiday feelings must wear off. We can't always be in a vacation mood. So the big thing is that you're going to have a huge learning curve and you've got to learn to embrace it. But at the end, is it hard work? Oh yeah. Is it worth it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And if it's not, guys, you totally did not go over there. It was, I guess, 1,000% against your will, and you did not decide to embrace everything that you can learn from this. That's going to kind of lead me into the first thing I want to talk about. The first thing I kind of want to talk about is you are going to change as a person. It just cannot be helped, guys. You've embraced yourself in a whole different lifestyle and a whole different culture. So when you come back to America, you are going to be more confident. You're going to be more open-minded. You're going to be more confident in unfamiliar situations than you ever thought before. I know some people are just super shy and they think, oh, I just can't do that or I can't embrace that. But through living abroad and coming back, you're going to realize that that has become your norm. You are not the norm anymore when you go overseas. Everything that you are getting ready to see and witness is going to be, especially if you've never been overseas, it's going to be totally different. And you're going to think, I can never learn this. And I don't understand how this works. And how am I going to figure this out? And when you do, and when you master it, you're going to be sitting here making YouTube videos like I am, trying to help somebody else out. But honestly, on the inside, you're going to change as an individual. You're going to see life as something completely different. You're going to see other culture as something totally different. A lot of the times we learn other things either through a book, and that's what I told my girls. One of the biggest things to take from it. My daughters are teens if you're new to my channel. And when they moved over there, they were young, just starting into their teen years. And I was like, girls, you don't understand this at the time, but this is going to change your life. And the longer we stayed, of course, the more it changed their life. You can't live overseas in another culture and it not change you as an individual. And just not even by living there, by traveling, seeing other culture. It's going to be at your fingertips. Take advantage of it. Go out and see the world. But just even living abroad or living in the UK, or if you have your orders to Germany or Italy, when you are surrounded by that, you're no longer a tourist. You're no longer on vacation. You might as well hang that hat up. You have got to be able to embrace everything around you and understand everything around you enough to be able to live there. And of course you want to live there comfortably. Of course you want to live there economically bestly, not that that's a word, but I mean there's so many mistakes that me and my husband laughed at when we first went over there that we made, and we're like, oh, if we'd have just known this, like the first year we were here, you know, it would have made so much more sense. But honestly, I think that's why I was so glad I didn't have time to do a lot of research, because guys, we got 3 kids. We had a lot to do on the American side, but I was kind of glad I didn't have a whole lot of time to do research. I'm kind of glad that our guy that, you know, you military guys or women, you kind of know, is your sponsor. Ours sucked. Like, I mean, that's just putting it as nice as there is. And if you're not military, you get a sponsor when you're going overseas. And that's just to help you kind of get settled or show you where TLF is. They're supposed to pick you up from the airport, take you, you know, just kind of to help you, like, hey, this is a list of things maybe you want to kind of contact, get your phone service set up. Yeah, ours didn't do any of that. So, like I said, our sponsor, if you watch some of my other videos, he showed up in a car that wasn't even big enough to hold our whole family. So straight off the gate, as soon as we've got off of a 10-hour flight, I mean, honestly, we started learning ourselves. And which I love it, because you almost think you're overwhelmed. You do. And it's like, oh my gosh, just let this day end and tomorrow's going to be different. And then you're like, oh my God, just let this day end and tomorrow's going to be different. But then you get to realize, wait, I've learned so much. I can tell so many people that I come in contact with, no, this is how they do it. And I even have some Brits that come on here, they want to argue with me. And I love it. They want to argue. We had made a video about how we have to pay rent. You military are going to understand. And that they absolutely can base your rent off of what you are paid as a military person. And the Brits just 100% couldn't understand that. And Michelle was a liar and Josh was a liar. The military aspect, you're going to realize, you know the clause, you know what is going on. But I even have Brits try to tell me in their own country. And so at that point, I'm like, you know what? I might could even teach you guys in your own country a thing or two. No, I'm just kidding. But honestly, guys, by just diving in and just having to learn by yourself, you are going to learn so much and you're going to change and you're just going to see the world so differently. And honestly, if your eyes are open, it's so beautiful. So go over there, embrace it, have things to come back home and talk to people about. The next one is this one's hard to swallow, but you are going to lose some friends along the way. There's just no other way to say that. I've spoke to so many people, and just me personally, I still have my group of friends that are American friends, and I still have my group of friends that are British friends. We still talk. I mean, now I have friends that are in Korea. I have friends that are in Japan. I have friends that are in California. I have so many friends now across the world. But the friends I started out with when I went to the UK, I didn't necessarily have all those at the end. And that just goes back to point number one. You change as a person. And if you're young, super young, which me and my husband were younger whenever we went over there. I'm still younger though. I mean, you grow up, and being overseas and realizing what you have to do, because you no longer have a family to rely on. And when I say family, of course you have your family that you're taking with you, but you don't have that outsource. I couldn't just pick up the phone and call my mom and say, I have no idea what I'm doing. Can you fix this? Because even if we were on the same time zone and she could answer, she didn't know how to fix my problem. So there was no friend in the world that could fix my problem. In order for Michelle to fix anything that she came in contact with, it took Michelle. It was Michelle's issue. So you learn honestly who you are as an individual. You're going to go through things that you're going to think, oh my gosh, I didn't know I had that in me. And you're going to be so proud of yourself. Well, everybody else is not always going to be on that same page of, hey, we're so proud of you. So just kind of be aware that you are going to lose people along the way of moving overseas. And some people, honestly, it's kind of just a good way to look at it. Like maybe they were not really meant to stay in your life anyways. They were just somebody that was passing through at the time to kind of, just be your friend at the moment. But the ones that really matter, they're going to still be in America when you get back. I even remember having our farewell party, and we kind of just had all of our friends and all of our family kind of get together, and it was just like, just kind of say goodbye to us, because at the time we thought we were going overseas for 3 years. As most married families do, we go for 3 years. If you're single and it's just you and your husband, it's a 2-year sign over. But it was still like we didn't know if we were going to come back to America in the 3 years. So anyways, it was our farewell party. And I remember a few of our friends didn't show up, and there was excuses that were made, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so hurt. And so they really didn't like me. And I thought this had been friends for us, like our lifelong friends. And I was just distraught that they would not show up to say goodbye. But honestly, that's just God preparing you for your journey. You've got to have room, because you're going to meet so many new people on this journey they're actually on the same journey in life that you are on. So guys, just definitely never get, offended if somebody doesn't show up to say goodbye or that you're going overseas, and especially for the younger crowd. I promise you guys, you're going to meet so many new people, so many people that can help you with your journey, and that is going to make your experience even better. Next one is going to kind of feed off of the other two that we've been talking about, but just go ahead and be prepared that you are going to miss weddings. You are going to miss the birth of some of your friends' new babies. You are going to miss some birthdays, and you are going to miss some funerals. As you get older, that definitely happens. And I know a lot of times, and I know a lot of military wives, they would beat themselves up over these things, and they're like, oh my gosh, my friend is getting married and I can't make it home. Because honestly, when you get overseas, you're going to use every bit of your dollar, every bit of your vacation time to travel the world with your husband or your wife. You're going to want to see it, and you're going to just realize that the time goes by so fast, and the money does too. But you just don't have all this extra time where you can just fly back and forth. And that's, 10 hours on a flight just to get there for a wedding. And you might have 3 days just to turn around and fly back. You're going to quickly see, and that's what I was talking about, changing as a person. Some of those you're going to drop it out of a hat. It's not going to matter. You're going to be there if that wedding happens, if that baby's born, it's going to happen. But sometimes as you're changing as a person, you're going to say, oh, I can't come home. And you shouldn't always just feel guilty. We're meant to feel so guilty about those things, but I could not come home for some of the things. Now, there was a couple times, I think there was once that I did come home and I made the exception. But for the other times, I flew my mom out. If you wanted to come, you had to come to me. I'm in the UK. Come see me, you know? And that is another thing that's a friendship level. If it is so important, come out and see us. Let's travel as friends. But some of the weddings, and I know my hard spot was not necessarily the weddings or the things like that I was missing by being in the UK. It was more of the holidays. And the first couple years we were there, my family was there. You know, my girls was there, my husband was there. Michelle makes an event out of everything anyways. And so it's honestly just staying positive. But I was like, oh my gosh, I have a big family, and we're used to always getting together for the holidays, and everybody comes. And the first time that I experienced that, and I was like, wait, my mom's not here, my dad's not here, my cousins are not here. You feel, you can't help but feel a little bit of a gap or a void. And I'm sorry, that is just part of it, and that did make me so sad at times. But you will quickly find out that you're making new friends around, and you have not another family, because there's only mom and dad, okay? Mom and dad is mom and dad. But you're gaining these friends, like I said before, that is on the same journey. And so all you guys start to come together, especially overseas, as a family. And we did. We started, we had a group of friends. It was a beautiful group of friends. Some of them was my husband's, from work. Some of them were just other wives from our unit, but a lot of them were just friends that I had made on my walk personally there in the UK. And I was like, hey girl, you do this and you do that, and I'll do this part, and we all joined together. And holidays became so magical that now that I'm back in America, I'm like, oh, I'm texting all my girlfriends and all these friends that I've made along the way, and I'm just like, oh, I miss this and I miss you guys. And do you remember last year when we done this? And you quickly, it just starts to become your new journey. You're overseas, and then you start to miss what you actually had in there, in the UK. And so, guys, don't just feel overwhelmed with all the emotions. And I know this video is more, it seems like to be like emotional stuff that you are going to have to go through and you're going to have to miss. But I just don't want you to feel overwhelmed, because I promise you, when you first get there in those first couple weeks and you just think, I just can't do this, I promise you, it is the part of life that you were designed to do. So just do it, and do it to the fullest, and just love it along the way. You're going to make amazing memories. You're going to have books like I do that's full of, oh my gosh, I miss this day. You're going to have those moments, and you're going to look back and you'll be like, oh my God, I missed that part of my life. So Guys, embrace it. Know that some things are going to be a little bit harder, but that is okay. All right, last one, because like I said, guys, I really honestly have so much to share with you. I want to share with you about how to set your phones up and your bank accounts and all the things that you're going to need to know when you go over to the UK. But this one was just more on a feely part. You're going to get homesick. Now, I'm a mama's girl. I'm family. My dad, I know some people are closer with their families and some are not, but I am that girl. I am just truly just a mama's girl. So to say that I was going to have to go that far from my mom about killed me. I'm not joking. I have pictures where I'm almost trying to hold on to her at the airport, and I was like, I can't do this. I can't grow up. I can't be a big girl. So that was my story, my own emotional thing. Even though I knew I was a strong, independent woman, there's just something about mamas. And honestly, guys, I thought my life was good here in America. I had, awesome job. There was just so many things that were good. My friends were amazing, and I was like, oh, I just can't leave, and nothing could be better than this right here. And so, guys, just know that it's normal to get homesick. I mean, I remember Michelle may have shed a few tears. I don't like to admit that on camera. I mean, it's natural though, guys, that we cry and that we're homesick. I mean, and whatever you're missing about home, whether it's the food, whether it's your parents, whatever it is, it's natural to feel that way as long as you don't let that consume you. Because honestly, feeling homesick is feeling homesick, but then you've got to be able to still move from that and to realize what you have in front of you and to be able to go on with life. So I don't want you guys, and I did have a girlfriend there, and it just seemed like that was her walk there in the UK, and I kept trying to encourage her, and she was like, I'm just ready to get back to America, and I don't like the food here, and I don't like this, and I was like, girl, you got to stop complaining so much. Let's go try this, or let's go do that. So guys, just try to be the positive person, embrace what is there. Realize that, yes, home is home. I get it, America, and you think that that's the only place you'll ever call home, but shocker, shocker, Michelle, that was full Southern, guys. Ain't no place better than the South in America. Fell in love with the UK, guys. Absolutely, my heart belongs to both places. I adore both places. I am so thankful that I got to do that in my lifetime. So don't be so jaded that you've already, if you're not, already living abroad, to be like, oh, I can't do this and I'm just not going to like it and let's just get our 2 years over with. Don't, guys. Go in and embrace it and just know that being homesick is natural. You are going to come back, and just guess what? That makes home so much better, because now when I hug my mom, I hug her and I just don't let go, because I'm so excited to see her and just love her so much. But I'm still thankful that I got to live in the UK and that I got to live with the Brits and engross myself in their culture. So just understand that being homesick is natural. And I'm going to tidy this video up here because Michelle's just talked through it. I had said when I sat down I was going to make it all professional and we were going to go through 5 steps, and I had totally 5 different steps. But I usually don't do the whole emotional part on YouTube. So this was a good one to kind of, get you guys involved in this series. We are going to talk a lot more about living in the UK, moving over to the UK as the military part. And this one is not necessarily just for military. If you're living abroad, period, this can kind of tailor to you. So I'm going to end the video here. Hopefully you guys learned something, or you just listened to me talk. But thanks. Just wait to see what I'll do next. Bye.